You are about to be fixed. Physics Fixed, better than real, where each brief episode brings insight you've never had before, no matter how much tuition you paid. If you know enough physics to see its gaps, you'll find many fixed in this series. It's Occam's razor in the hands of Jack the Ripper. Fixed blows right past convention, so it's not for everyone. And be advised, it's way too cool for school. Now get ready for contact sport. Last time, rearranging the interval equation to get rid of the minus sign suggested space is diagonal, with intuitive Euclidean coordinates of time and invariant intervals. Without the distortions of space-time, we saw that as space and time of any span become equal, the interval goes to zero, defining a light-like interval. Fixed will now explain exactly what zero interval separation means because, frankly, no one else has. It means contact, or touch, hit, bump, tap, whack, bonk, poke, knock, and if you're sophisticated, interact. In the end, zero separation means what it's always meant: contact. Reading will not give that impression. Some examples: where light goes from a given point is always separated by a zero interval. Events which occur or are initiated by a photon all have light-like separation. Events on the light cone itself are said to be light-like or null separated from the origin. We can use separation to distinguish three regions of space-time. If the interval is zero, the events are separated by a light-like interval. What exactly is light-like separation? No separation at all. It's contact. Let R be any spatial radius. Physics is in the dark about light because it never abandoned its outdated classical notion of separation, where two objects are considered separate if they are apart in space or time or both. That last part is about to be fixed. Intervals provide hidden locality, seen in a dimensional progression so simple and undeniable, Granny gets it. How many paths lead to contact with the center of a line segment? 2. Now how many non-overlapping paths lead to contact in an area? For each contact path in one dimension, an infinite number of radial paths exist in 2. A ball in 3D is comprised by an array of disks. For each contact path in 2D, there is again an infinite number in 3D. The clear pattern is that contact paths increase geometrically with each dimension added. A sphere encompasses all radial paths to classical 3D contact with its center at any given moment. But there are 4 dimensions, which means that for each classical path in 3D, there must be an infinite number of additional contact paths. Where are they? You're looking at some now, as light. Fixed will now make contact clearer than ever before. All contact is interval contact, an invariant interval separation of zero span. While different observers may disagree on its coordinates, all agree any point of contact is a single point. Interval contact arises when spatial and temporal spans are equal and comes in 2 varieties. Familiar classical contact is the special case when both spatial and temporal separation are zero. By contrast, remote contact is the case when spatial and temporal separation are equal but not zero. Remote contact is non-local in the classical sense. Interval contact combines classical and remote contacts. Interval time coordinates reveal infinite remote contacts for each classical contact. Despite this ratio, remote contact has been overlooked because our brains think in terms of space and time. It literally took an Einstein to discover intervals. However, even then, non-Euclidean space-time coordinates depicted only classical contact, while distorting remote contact to appear as separation. Finally, remote contact being light-like is velocity-dependent, specifically requiring speed limit c. Thus, only energy, such as light quanta, can transit. No observer can go along for the ride. The Lorentz-Fitzgerald transforms are consistent in showing that in the limit as speed approaches c, path length vanishes, while time stops elapsing. A light quantum takes 0 time, crossing 0 path. Congratulations! You've been fixed. Better than real. Don't forget to subscribe so we can stay in contact. Phyxed will next enlighten you with the whole shebang. I'll see you there, if you dare. Phyxed was inspired by Henry Reich's Minute Physics. Give it a try.